And to talk more about this, we want to welcome in Daniel Zerilli, the Chief Climate and Sustainability Officer at Columbia University and formerly the Chief Climate Policy Advisor for the New York City Mayor's Office. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. So you actually helped launch these coastal resiliency projects while you worked for the city. So the writing really was on the wall, right? After Superstorm Sandy hit in 2012. Can you explain just how critical this flood wall and floodgates are for New York's future, considering what we saw Sandy do?
Yeah, absolutely. We learned so many important lessons after Hurricane Sandy. And of course, the impacts were devastating. We had 44 New Yorkers lose their lives, $19 billion in damages and lost economic activity. And we're a city of islands. We have what's estimated to be 520 miles of coastline that have built up over time, but with zero coastal protections. So after Hurricane Sandy, it became imperative that we find solutions to protect New Yorkers, protect our critical infrastructure, and make sure the city can be more resilient for these rising risks of coastal storms, sea level rise, and all of the risks that climate change is throwing at us.
Now, Daniel, before you joined us, we showed Katie Tutrone's story, which mentioned another project underway that's also raising the coastline. Well, these projects, are they going to be enough, or is it just the one step of many more measures that may need to be taken to protect New York?
Well, what you're seeing is really the first generation of projects. And, you know, we're a 400-year-old city. There's a lot of dense infrastructure that we're building on. And the challenge here is turning on an entirely new class of infrastructure into a really tight physical environment in New York City along our coastline. But what we're seeing is projects that are turning on all over the city. And you showed really important projects in Lower Manhattan. There have been different kinds of projects in the Rockaway Peninsula, projects coming on Staten Island, in Red Hook in Brooklyn. There's really a comprehensive approach to thinking about this coastal risk on top of other risks, whether it's heat or more intense precipitation, and stitching that together to provide a much more safe city for New Yorkers, one that's continuing to be able to provide the infrastructure that is necessary for our city to thrive in the future.
And Daniel, really quick, only about 30 seconds left. Other cities are doing things to combat the rise of water. Are those options for New York to consider?
You know, when we were developing this program, we looked at what Rotterdam is doing, or Tokyo, or New Orleans, and there's a lot of really great lessons out there. They don't apply directly to New York City. We had to come up with solutions that made sense for our unique characteristics and our history and our infrastructure. And I think what you're seeing is a really important set of projects coming online right now.
Okay, man, great information, and we really appreciate your efforts. Daniel Zerilli with Columbia University, we really appreciate your time with us this morning.
And hopefully never again a Sandy. That was
absolutely.
Quite the storm. My husband's aunt actually lost her home or was heavily damaged by the storm out on Long Island. So it was a wide-reaching storm.
No doubt about it. Hey.